All right. So, well, what I want to do, we're just going to throw this invite out to a couple servers. We're just kind of having a little bit of fun. Every Thursday, we like to just take a minute after the markets close. We get a little downtime. Sometimes we'll go back and look at some of our trades. Maybe we do a little training. Um, but this Thursday, I wanted to take a minute because we've been on Spaces a lot. I grabbed Frankie and Sharky, by the way, and just said, hey, can you guys give a little bit of an overview of kind of like a day in the life of a futures trader, if that makes sense. Futures have been pretty much like, I mean, a bit of an explosion. I think, a lot of option traders. So I'm an options trader, number one. And if you're not familiar with me or our trading, that's great. But that is what most people know me like Paper Gains for. Shark though, and Frankie, Shark's been a futures trader for a long time. He left. He'll come back in a little bit. Frankie, what's your background though? You want to give him a quick background?
So, yeah, I worked on the New York. I was a clerk on the exchange when I was a kid, and then became a member of the exchange in 1989, and was a member till 2007. I was with two firms, Henderson Brothers, which we sold in 2000, and Bear Stearns Wagner, which we sold in 2007. So basically, I was the specialist for 25 years. Then I had a futures hedge fund for 2 years, which was a great experience, but I couldn't get to the number I wanted. We had good returns. So I shut that down in 2014 and got into real estate for a while. I just got back into it about 7 months ago now. So have been trading back in it for 7 months, and it's been great. Met all you guys.
Nice. Yeah, Frankie showed up on Spaces for a bit. Looks like Ace is coming in, or Jordy. If you show up, Jordy, hop in. You're welcome to come up. Sharky, by the way, is the man in the hat. Our buddy from the stage has to get in costume, so welcome back, my friend.
The market's closed now. I'm on vacation time. I cracked open my beer. I got my stunning hat on, so we're good.
Yeah, definitely nothing serious, but again, futures is kind of like, it's a bit different, right? Like people that have been trying to get the hang of options sometimes get a little crushed. Maybe you find like you get the direction right, but you don't make money necessarily, or let's say you tend to find yourself scalping a lot. I think futures might be the way for you to go, and definitely with kind of like the advent of, let's call it the like funded prop firms. When I started trading, prop firms were not a thing, right? It just definitely was not a thing. And I think since then, they just kind of really started. I mean, geez, if you can open up a trial account or a prop account for a couple $100, like why risk a lot more capital if that's, your risk is essentially a couple $100 for a demo account to take an eval. That just makes a lot of sense.
And someone mentioned it on Spaces today, that technically it's not a prop account. Technically, It's like virtual funding. When you think of prop account, you're thinking more of like an SMB or 7 Points, things like that, where you're actually at a desk and they give you the money. So it is a little bit different, but it's definitely a great resource, like you said, to risk just a little bit of capital if you know what you're doing. You can certainly be profitable doing it. And then, like you said, why risk, $5,000 to learn? There certainly are those great, we've talked about this because I've been kind of trying to get you maybe to dabble a little bit in the futures world. And you were mentioning, there are those differences. And I think though, to be honest with you, for a beginning trader, in my opinion, futures, they give you the leverage. They don't give you that convexity of the payout, which I know you love. You love the working with the Greeks and the options, and that really is where you develop a lot of your edge, finding those for those swings, finding those mispriced contracts, and then working against those inefficiencies in the market. But for a new trader, in my opinion, that's just trying to learn really how to trade, I think the futures is really a great instrument because, again, certainly, with NQ, it's super volatile. It is still leveraged, so to speak, just not necessarily in the same way that options are. But you have less to deal with. You don't have to deal with the Greeks, you know.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
oh boy, who's that? You don't have to deal with the Greeks and those other aspects of options trading that can be a little bit added complexity overall, you know. So you know, in the future you're just dealing with price action, you know, what's going on with the market structure and you know, and things like that versus okay, this move is taking X amount of time. Now I've got to worry about theta being an issue and things like that. So you know, really for beginning trader, you know, I honestly think that futures is a better option because you know, it's just less to deal with, you know. I mean, if trading's already as hard as it is, last thing you want to maybe deal with is have to deal with, you know, that time decay and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been enjoying it. But of course, you don't get that gamma thrust. I mean, you know, that you know, you've done it a million times. Those SPX calls or puts end of the day, they go from, you know, $1 to $4, you know, in 2 minutes. Oh, that doesn't, and you make more money as it goes, you know, with the Greeks.
You can't
So you
hold,
don't
right?
get that, you know.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's. I mean, options are not easy, right? Like if you take the time to figure it out, it's great, right? But if you're trying to get in and out, it's totally different. It looks like Ace is in. He's, I don't know what he's doing. He's messing with his avatar, his PFP. He's all over the place. What's up, Ace? I
Yeah,
see.
Bro,
you.
I'm in, baby.
He's
I'm
in,
trying to
he's
make it
in.
look sexier, you know? We're
Yeah,
trying
we
to.
did this by the
Oh
way.
shit!
What's up, baby? I'm ready to learn,
No,
Sharky. I'm
yeah,
ready.
not Josh is
Teach
in.
me.
We did this
Sharky, I'm gonna
as
tell you right now, like
I'm not Josh. I'm not Frank.
I
he's
don't even
not
know what I'm
Josh.
supposed to do when I want to buy something on futures, to be completely honest. So I
You
need you,
press
baby.
the buy button.
Press the
Dude,
button.
like I know, but like I'm so used to buying cons. What I like, do I
Jordy, we
buy?
need to see your pretty face for just a second.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, your Chad jaw.
Yes.
Your Chad jaw line.
Hey, we
There
got
he
them
is.
all. We should be
There he
live right now.
is.
Damn it.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on, we got
You
that
could
hair
stream it to
sticking
Twitter.
out.
Why are you
no.
That's
streaming
not
it?
enough
Why-
financial advice, Hap.
Why are you
It's not. I'm
streaming-
sorry,
Oh,
Will.
no.
I'm sorry.
Why are you yeah, you know, no, we'll have
The
to.
boys are here.
The boys are here.
The
We
boys
are
missed,
here.
missed not Josh. Oh well.
I'm right here.
I see you.
Wait, so you're not you're not
That's
you're not
right.
streaming this to Twitter at the same time? Paper like you normally do?
What's that?
You're not streaming it to Twitter like you normally do on the recaps?
I didn't.
You didn't do it.
I will.
Come on, bud.
But
I got a crotch shot of Frank though. We didn't want to necessarily.
Yeah, Frank's
But
wearing
anyways.
pants. In case anyone was wondering, he's got pants on.
Yeah, I got
That's a
pants.
pimp, bro.
I got pants on
But not Frank does not.
today anyway. I only take my pants off when I eat.
Yes. Well, so anyway, Sharky. So this is what I was asking, right? So I think, you know, price action is one thing. We did this as a Zoom meeting, right? Next time, if we want to do this, I think we'll do it as a webinar so that like we will have people come in. We've already had it quite a bit. Like it's just going to be kind of a, well, it's going to be hard. But can you kind of like walk us through, hey, look, this is my process when I'm trading futures, a little bit different than options, but you and Frank are in the market, dude, 24/7, right? Like that.
I've been pulling back. Frank yelled at me. And
When-
so I've
when
been
when
doing
I-
less trades.
When I
No, he
listen to
didn't
you
yell at
guys
me.
on Spaces, listen, I'm in the market a lot. You guys are in the market 24/7. It's freaking tough, right? But I think, you know, my style is different than most. Your guys' style is different than most. I think there's a big difference between futures and options for sure. As an options trader, I cannot take advantage of some of the moves that a futures traders can. That's just true, right? Like I cannot scalp in and out. So can you kind of like walk through, here's how I set up my futures. Here's my view, right? I wake up, I look at this. This is how I set up my trades. This is what I'm looking for. And this is kind of like what I'm looking for when I take a trade and how I manage stuff. Can you kind of walk us through that? Maybe do a little bit of a screen share, maybe walk through some trades and what you're looking for from a futures perspective.
Yeah,
Maybe
Well,
do a
I think-
recap from today or something like that. Cause you traded a couple and you had a green day today.
Yeah, and share your screen.
yeah.
Share your screen. They want to see your screen.
Yeah, we want to see it.
Well, the first thing I think for anyone that's, and you know, hopefully, you guys brought some, you know, a notepad or whatever. Well, I guess it's recorded, but I guess the first thing or the most complicated thing that people have to get used to is maybe more so the jargon. behind it. I think that that's probably the best place to start. Because we talk in terms of ticks, in terms of points, and that can be confusing versus someone who's thinking, oh yeah, I'm up 10% on an options play or 10% on a regular shares play, stuff like that. So every market has a different point and tick value, but it's really easy. A tick is 25 cents, right? And it's just like a quarters. It takes 4 of those to make a point. So a dollar move ES from 48 10 to 48.11 is 1 point. And then they're split into the quarter intervals there. And each one of those intervals is a tick, right? Now, for the ES, it's priced a bit more aggressive than NQ. However, NQ makes up for that in its ATR and range and volatility. So ES is $50 a point.
ATR is a range and volatility.
Well, I'm saying it NQ makes up for the fact that you get paid less because it moves more. Like an ES
Oh,
trade,
got it.
I'll take an ES trade is like 7 points, and NQ will be like a 25, 30 point move.
Got it.
So that it moves a lot. Yeah. So that's what
Here,
I'm
so
so even
Sharky's
though
being
it paid
difficult.
less, it makes up for it because it can do a double size move.
Wait, what screen did I share? Here.
Well, yeah, I'll share my screen in a second. I just wanted to go
Okay.
over this stuff first. But
Okay.
you can do whatever you want. It's your
No,
show.
no, I'll stop it. I was gonna try and go over to an NQ and ES, but okay, keep going.
So for the ES, which is the the mini contract, is $50 a point. And then what is it a tick? Now I forget because I don't remember off the top of my head.
I've just
But I know it's $50. I should have it up. It's Frank probably knows.
12.50 a tick.
12.50 a tick. Okay, and the NQ is $20 a point, and is that right, or 22?
Well, the MNQ is 50 cents a tick, or $2 a point.
Okay, all right. So, and there's also a difference, and a lot of people too, kind of want to jump into like the micros, which is the full size contract. And that's the one that's $50 a point. So again, the point is a dollar move, every dollar move that the market makes. I would highly suggest against that. When you're just starting out, trade the micros, and those are 1/100th of the size. So for a micro ES, it's $1.50 a tick, and it's what is it, $5 a point? I think it's $5 a point on the
Right.
end.
And the MNQ is 1/20th of the big of NQ, and it's
Did
50
you call it
cents
the
a
big?
tick or
1/20th
$1.
of the big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
1/20th
are
Well, we're
of the
talking
big.
about the micro to
terminology for
the
me.
micro to
The
the
big.
mini.
The MNQ versus NQ. NQ micro NQ is usually, especially in volatility like today, that's what I was trading.
Yeah, and I like them. It's better for beginners, and I personally like them because for me, for my style, I like to ride these trades as long as I can. Futures definitely offer some great scalping opportunities, and I know people that just will scalp it for 15 points here, 15 point there. Not really my particular type of style, but it does offer you those same type of opportunities that paper was mentioning that you might not be able to take advantage of even on a 0-day option. I could take 15 points or 20 points on a move in NQ and make $500 and then be done for the day. I mean, it depends on everybody's goals, but that's very doable within 10, 15 minutes. But the thing that I like about the MNQ and the MES is it just gives you more opportunities in scaling out, right? How many times, even in options, right? We've sold, our last position, or and then we wish we could have held on to like a half of a contract, right? Well, the micros give you the opportunity to technically scale a half a contract because basically it's 1 to 10. So for 10 MES, it equal to one ES. For
Yeah.
10, the same for NQ. So
You guys do that a lot. I've seen a lot of our futures traders, like a lot of people, for some, I know if you're using a prop firm, the margin requirements for an ES is like not, it's only a few $100, right? But like if you're using futures in say like TOS, it could be like $15,000 or
Right,
something like
yeah,
that.
1500 for an MES. They do change the
So
intraday margin
1,500
changes.
for a MES, 15,000 for an ES that you need cash in your account to hold margin for. But
Right,
in a
and then
prop
that's
in a
right. Go
prop
ahead.
firm, it's like pennies, right? So
Well,
I've seen other traders, and here's my question: is like, do you tend to buy? And I know Frank, I watched Frank go through this transition of like all of a sudden, instead of trading NQ, it's, you know, instead of one NQ, it's 10 MNQs so that I can scale out like we do in options. I'm constantly buying lots, multiples, i.e. multiples, so that I can scale. Like, do you guys find yourselves doing that a lot more in the futures world? Like, is that favorable, or is it, do you think it's better to kind of like buy full and close full, or how does that work for you guys?
well, I think that depends on the style, but Frank kind of had that story today when we were going long midday. So for maybe Frank can speak to that first because he kind of was.
Yeah, around 1 o'clock, 1:15, we started trading down in the overnight gap in NASDAQ. I think it was 15. We were buying them at 1592. And I started out like buying 10, and then 85 I bought 10. I was long 20.
Yeah,
I
I'll
blew
share my
those out
screen.
I blew those out. This is about what I did. I blew those out at 75. And then I finally waited for a higher low. And then I bought, like, my average size is like, my full size is usually between 30 and 50. So I was getting a little beat up, but I had a good morning. So I had like a $3,000 cushion. So I ended up buying 150. I was long 150, and I was long those.
This is the irresponsibly. Let's go.
Yeah, that's irresponsibly long. You know, sweating it out at the bottom.
This is
Basically,
NQ or MNQ?
MNQ.
So that's
Right.
equal to about 10 and a half NQ.
10 and a
Basic.
half NQ. What's the margin on something like that?
I mean, that's depends on
Normal?
the broker. Who did that?
Let's
Who
say if
just
it
drew
was
giant peanuts on my screen?
That's
Yeah.
I use
You know who
Ninja,
that is.
and I only have like 25,000 in that account.
Okay, so
Right,
that
and that's what. Sorry, that's what I was going to say earlier. That toss is definitely not the right. Come on, Will, is definitely what. Not this guy.
There it is.
He's he's a damn killed me. Toss is not the, toss is not the best option, but I think for trading futures, but there are the discount brokers like Trade-O-Vate, like Ninja, and it doesn't matter whether you're using a prop firm or not. You could still trade an MES or for like $50, but they normally, and I recommend, and they normally recommend to have double in your account what you would want to trade. So if the intraday margin requirement on Trade-O-Vate is $50, to trade one contract, you'd really want to have $100 in the account. But I think that a lot of people do think that it's a really high barrier to entry in futures, and that's what scares them away. But realistically, honestly, you could open up an account of your own money for $500, $1,000, and trade a couple of MES and totally be fine and do it in Trade-O-Vate. Ninja Amp is another one. I use Trade-O-Vate. I like Trade-O-Vate, but it's really just a personal preference and what y'all like.
so
So
Trade-O-Vate, that's the broker, or
that's a broker.
okay, so you execute trades in Trade-O-Vate
Mm-hmm.
and you chart in Trade-O-Vate, or sorry,
No, I trade on, so the screen that I'm showing now is, the chart that
that's toss.
I'll just trade off. Yeah, Thinkorswim, that's where all my stuff is. But this is where Frank was loading up here in today in the MNQ. I don't even look at the MNQ. I chart everything off the NQ anyway. It's basically the same. Sometimes they're off just a little bit. But I had this area here as well, as a possible area where we could start to see some buyers as well. And I was actually going in ES at this point, and we could go over that trade in a bit. But I think that kind of the first thing that was the most important thing to go over was just understanding on how you get paid, right? Because that's obviously what we're here to do and how much,
Yeah.
you know, how much you're risking.
So like, here's a question. So for options, like I know that I need to have like visibility to take a trade at all. Like I need to have visibility to like at least a full dollar um i- of a move in options to me, right? And so from a that's like a spy dollar. If it's ES, that would be, what would that be? That's like 100 100 points or like 50 points.
Well,
I
a
can't
dollar, well,
I can't take a ES trade if I see 50 points with options. Like to me, that I'm not taking that. That's just not enough juice for me. Like the
well,
juice is not worth the squeeze. So at what point is the juice worth the squeeze on
Well, I was going to say
futures?
it's calculated completely differently. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't like you know, ES is going to move up 3 or 4 points, and that might be only equal to $1 in SPY. So it's not the same. NQ could like, you know, QQQ could make a 75 cent move, and in the NQ that could end up being 20 points or 15 points. So it's not, you know, it doesn't calculate the same way.
Yeah, NQ today was up 1.5%, so that's 240 points. So 1 point in NQ, 1% in NQ is about 75 points. Now in spot, 1 point of SPY is probably 50 points in NQ. Wouldn't you say that, Sharky?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm not good at math, so I'll disagree with you.
Yeah, approximately. Yeah.
Um, but oh yeah, nice heart there. But um, but normally, you know, since we're just working on the price action, you know, for me, it's really just all about that pre-planning again and working from that kind of if and then type of scenario. You know, I've got my predefined, you know, zones and levels that I'm willing to you know, work around. And again, it just comes into your risk profile and what you're willing to, but you can easily, you know, say for instance on 5 MES, and I wanted to go over that quickly. Again, I mean, I don't want to speak, I'm just kind of speaking as if nobody knows anything about it, but ES is equal to SPY, MES is SPY as well, and NQ is the QQQ, and MNQ is the Qs, right? So but since you're just kind of working off that price action, you know, you can still, you know, with a 3 point downside, right? So if I was, and today, on that trade, we can go over it a little bit. I was trading the ES here. And so we were trading just below the 75s, 47.75 here. But you can see we were kind of you can see the wicks, right? We're getting absorbed here. And this is kind of where I was buying. I was up actually a little bit higher. I had my entry was in this 47 area, so a little bit higher up in this range. But my risk was an acceptance of price under the whole number at 47.70. So I was risking about 4 points. So depending on your size honestly on MES, and again, I'm not good with the math, but 4 point risk on MES, you guys could probably figure out with 5 contracts. I don't know. It's like $200, $300. It's really not much. And then you can
So
see here really the trigger, and I think I might have posted about this on Twitter, or I certainly said it on Spaces. We had to get over that 47.75 for me to feel better about this upside move. And once we did recapture that level, then it was just on to the races, right? And I think that this is where we had broken over. And I remember saying on SPY here, this I said, I was like, oh, we just broke over it. We're coming back to retest. I think it was 476.30 or something like this. So, you know, we had broken the structure, and this is another opportunity for an entry
gotcha.
to the
So
upside.
we have a question. So on your risk note there, so there's a question. So asking, can you talk about liquidations and possibly run through an example for an account that starts with say $1,000 that's trading, let's say MES if possible. So let's say if
No,
you took,
yeah, no, $1,000, you definitely want to be in the MES zone.
so
Yeah,
let's say, so this is ES, right? So let's say if it was MES and you took the same trade, that would be what, like a 1 lot or a 2 lot, let's say. When
on MES
yeah, if that was the
with
same
a
trade.
$1,000 account,
Yeah.
it would be, yeah, I mean, depending on your skill level, I probably wouldn't go more than 3.
Okay, so let's say it's a 2 lot, right? And
Yeah.
the question is on liquidations. What is a liquidation? What does that mean when he says liquidation?
That
And they're
means
asking-
that it would have to go, you would have to go, your entire account would have to go below the intraday margin requirement, and then it gets, you
So
get
what?
like
So how would
liquid.
you know? Okay, so unlike an options, where an option, my risk is what I pay for it, right? You're not really paying anything. You're just using the margin, right? And
Right.
so it's like selling a put, is that right? So like if it goes against me in a futures trade, do I have a max drawdown? I guess is that the question? And my max drawdown is what, my entire account balance? Or
Well, the max drawdown, they have a limp. Every broker has a different level where they're going to blow you out. I'm sure you guys have heard rejection on my account where they reject the order. It's because I'm going over my size, right? Reject order. So, but if
Are-
you're in a
are brokers different than each other? Sorry, this is so I'm actually the person here that wouldn't know, right? Since I'm not the futures trader, but I think it's a good question to me.
I get a ton of leverage from Ninja Trader, so they would probably be the best if you're just starting out to go to. You know, the best thing to start out is doing one of those accounts that all these guys are doing on futures, like that Minx has, and Sharky, you're doing that too, right? You got
Yeah, I
some.
have one. I have my own account. I can trade and toss if I really wanted to, but and I have my own. I used that and then I took my money out of it and then I started my own account.
Yeah.
So I have a couple, but I do have one. It just depends on what I'm in the mood to do.
So okay,
And
so I guess like I'll just to make the question like quick and dirty. What? How do you know what your max drawdown is then?
They blow
Nice,
like
not Josh.
oh, it
Wait.
has a it will tell you up at the top, like there's a little drawdown. There's like a box that it tells you.
yeah, and they'll just blow you out. Like you
Yeah,
don't
It'll
they
force
don't give
liquidate.
you, yeah, no, they'll just close it. They don't mess with that.
no phone calls. You just get blown in.
And you know before you open it, or
Well,
Well, I mean, if you have $1,000 in your account, you know, you don't want it to go below, say, 500, because that's double the, you know, your size. So, you know,
okay,
and
but the brokerage won't let you go past your
no, you can't, you
balance.
can't be on the hook for,
Okay,
yeah, no,
unless you're
no.
on like portfolio margin. Cool.
it's similar to what the prop firms do. They'll blow you out before you blow the account. You're out. They'll sell your position.
Got it.
Same shit, basically.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that's why, you know, for 1,000, recommend the micros, just one or two. Get used to how it feels. You know, MES moves a lot slower, so probably would recommend that for beginners, more so as well. Just to get used to it because it's a lot, you know, it's a lot less volatile. But you can still, I mean, like I was saying before, I forget how many. What did I have? I think I had only about 20 or so in this area, maybe 25. But from the 4774 up to these areas here at 4776, 47,790. This, yeah, exactly right there. That is about you know, $300 or $400, you know, coming into this area. And that's, you know, moving, what is it, 6 points? I don't know. You guys can do the math, but 75 to, well, it's about 10 points, 75 to 86. And then of course, since you don't have to worry about the theta, even in this part where it's hanging around, or if you were short, and here's a great example, right? If you're hanging out short in SPX through this price action over here, you know, you're going to lose some of that value. In futures, I'm just chilling. In futures, I know that as long as we don't get over this 47, 70, 97, I'm staying short, and then we'll just wait for the trade to play out. So, and I was pissed because I was a short up in this area and I was targeting this zone, and I got out before I did.
But I love Not Will right now. He's just
Like he's just going wild over here.
oh, he's cracking me up.
So So Sharky, you posted something today. Your P and L, right? Not P and L, right? But like as an option trader, like we like to, I, we get gains that are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600% gains in general, right? But I know as a futures trader, you guys are looking for net points, right? And you posted, what'd you post today? Your net,
What did you post?
Sharky posted,
Been a good one. Been a
A
good,
recap.
it's been a good January.
was it your
It's
January?
Oh,
fucking
I
up.
see. I see.
Yeah, just over 1,000 points. But I'm not really proud of that. I'm more so proud of the risk to reward ratio. It's 5-1, which is really good.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah.
That's
So
that-
that's for every, let's say that means that most of my trades I'll lose 10 points, but my gains on most of the trades is 50 points.
that's yeah. Good shit, Sharky. You're killing it, bro. It's the first
But
time I've actually got this explanation of futures. I actually know like what I'm doing if I want to go buy some now.
So
yeah,
First
yeah.
time.
where
So
I was
yeah, I
going,
mean,
I
go
get
ahead.
so where I was going with this is like I might buy, let's say 100, right? Or whatever lot, right? And I might sell, I don't know, 20 and then 50 or 50 and then 20 and then 10 and then 5 and leave 5 runners, right? And I might have like 1,000% gainer, but honestly, the last 10 might have been 1,000%, but I'm out 90% of them before we get there at
That's
the
the
end of the
same thing
day.
with me, Paper, like most of the time.
I mean,
You guys hear me, you know?
that's how it is,
But
right?
but sometimes you make almost even equal to your first scale or more
True.
on the
We're
last
getting that
10%.
delta.
And that's the convexity of options, which is
Yeah.
obviously the most appealing part of them.
They're fancy, they're shiny, right?
Yeah.
That's true. But so where I was getting at was like on your net P&L from a futures perspective, you're able to capitalize like on your I guess I can draw like on your little scalps like down, you can grab something like this and then you can grab something like that and then you can cut right here. And then I'll see you
Yeah.
take something like that and I might even see you take something down like this and then down like that and then flip long and then flip short and then flip
I
long.
don't
And like
do that. I don't do that. That's like
if
crackhead stuffing.
if you take all those
You
trades, like how
can
many
do
points
that.
is that? So like in this whole, let's say this zone right here, what part of that would you say is tradable from a futures perspective? Or are you trying to just
The entry here is long on the back test of this structure, and then you probably would scale at the equal high. See, I have this level here, so I might. Oh god, dude, come on, bro. I can't do this. We're trying to talk and teach.
he loves it.
Fucking Christ. Ay, ay, ay.
We gotta have fun, Sharky.
All right. Come on, futures is fun. Who doesn't want to trade corn?
Look, he says he's
Who
done.
doesn't want to trade soybeans?
I
Let's
know.
be realistic here.
He says he's done. I believe him. I
I
believe him.
guess what's realistic is like, here's my real question, right? If you're taking, let's say, something like this, are you in reality trying to get something like that? Or are you actually going to be okay with just this trade?
I would, if I was taking, yeah, because you noticed I had this level here. It was a bit tricky, but I would be looking for acceptance under this 48. I would be, if I was short here, I'd be scaling here, right? And I would be still targeting for this next area, right? And then we don't know. So at this next area, this is the lower low. So I'm scaling again here because I don't know if it's going to break.
Gotcha.
There's
No,
that.
I think this is a good example because, like, even
There's
if
a definite possibility that it just does this. I can draw things too, guys.
dude, that's a cooler. I don't have that. I don't even know where I just grabbed this button.
Wait, why can't I do?
I don't even know where that tool is. But anyways, like even like this trade,
Those
for
aren't
me,
really good. Yeah,
like-
that would be a good move.
but so on options, I wouldn't take that. I don't think that to me, I wouldn't take that type of trade on an option.
Yeah,
not, Josh,
I mean, on options, that would probably be about a 30%. I mean, on 0 days, that probably would be about an equal to a 35%.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a 0-day
Something like
scalp,
that.
you're good. But
Yeah,
like,
so, like I would,
for instance, like
Yeah.
Paper, if I was taking like the 1-day puts that I take, like, yeah, I might scale a little out there just to be safe. because I have
If
some
you got
games,
close
but
to the
like,
tippity top, it might be closer to 40%. I would have
yeah,
to
that's
say
just
that
like for
that
me
would be
though,
an
that
equal equivalent.
I'm with you. That's not like really enough.
Yeah, because like even if it was like this from an options perspective, if I wanted to be safe, let's say, I would probably wait till this is here. And if I would stop out, like, or when I would like, it might come down a little bit more and it might stop out, put in a higher low, and I would close here. But then that makes my range here to here, which is more like 20% versus the real range here to here, which, yeah, that ideally would have been 40%. But for me, I'm probably only going to get this, little sperm section. It's not that great. So like, but a
And
futures
then too, if
trade,
it chops for 20 minutes, then the theta's just killing you,
yeah,
and you're
and then
already
I have
fucked.
bid
Yeah.
ask spreads to work
Yeah.
with. But like, I
And
guess if you're the type of trader that might catch something like that or trade something like that, I think this maybe futures might work for you.
yeah, I mean, especially with once you get more comfortable with size, especially in ES, 5 points on ES with 3 lots. I mean, that's $600 or so, But this again, this is a much slower market, and we could look at the NQ and really the range that it's been, because it's been really offering some really amazing trades recently, and you can really see how much more you could go into the trades with it. But the thing is, just from an overall trading perspective, we're not supposed to be catching every single wiggle in the market. That's not our job, right? 1 or 2 trades, 3 trades, get in and get out. I like to make the analogy that, every time you're entering the market is potentially kind of running through a minefield, and eventually you're gonna step on a landmine, right? That's covered in, and so you want to limit the amount of times you run the gauntlet, right? And yeah, there's a great sack inverted head and shoulders. But like you were saying, this move in options is not very tradable, but this is, let's see, we'll just call it 80 down to 30. This is, what is that? That's a 40-point move. That with MNQ with say 30 lots. I mean, that's like $1,000
There you go.
right there in this little move. And that's like 40. I mean, and on a bad day for NQ, you might be able to only get away with 10, 15 point scout, moves, which, it's okay. But you catch a 30, 40, 35-point move on here, that's easily $1,000,
Yeah.
with 30 contracts, 20 contracts. Now that's a little bit more advanced. I don't think a beginner in future should be trading, because that's basically 3 NQ.
No, yeah, but what I would say, I feel like that's Frank getting a little bit better at his drawings down there or something. I'm not really sure, but if you're an options person, finding yourself taking a trade like that, right, like this right here, that's not a good. You're gonna get chopped up in your bid ask spreads for sure, right? Just on that alone. Oh, it's you, Frank. Nice.
So
Incognito.
Yeah, I mean, paper, unless you're sizing like fat enough to where you can,
You have to be fast, right? You have to
yeah,
be
you
super
have to be
fast.
so fast. And if that's not your goal and you give it too long, I mean, it's just that theta
Yeah,
will kill you.
it's just like a scalper, right? And I think, I see a lot of people with trying to trade options like that. It's tough. It's really, really tough. And then timing is more important than price action in general, right? With options, you try to do that, something like that at the wrong time of day, you're hosed anyways, right? But with options, with futures, it's not going to matter, right? And I, especially if somebody is kind of like, we call it on tilt, right? Like if you had a string of bad trades or something like that, it's always like really important to be able to like go back. And we were doing this on our server just last week, like builds yourself a handful of small wins, right? Sharky, you were saying this the other day, like you don't get to the Hall of Fame by getting home runs, right? You get into the Hall of Fame by a ton of base hits. I like that. I like it a lot, right? The people trying to hit for home runs that, they blow out their shoulders. So like if you're someone that tends to scalp quite a bit, yeah, futures could probably be the way for sure.
Right, but you just got to be careful, because I mean, these are just 3-minute candles, but like look at this here. It's also also important, and just the same as any type of trading, you got to realize kind of the environment of what's going on right now, because if you're trying to scalp and catch every little wiggle right in here, you're going to drive yourself crazy, right? So, you know, the same fundamental things still apply. And I kind of, you know, although, you know, I usually say that if you know how to trade one market, you can pretty much every single one has its little idiosyncrasies, of course, maybe with the language. Fundamental trading principles still apply to futures, as well as, you know, any instrument that you're trading. So, you know, you still would want to be careful.
Oh, we lost Sharky's video.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened there. If
Well,
you're
that's
going
it,
to,
guys. Sorry about
there were
that.
too many penises.
Eh,
I
Wait,
crashed,
lost connection.
can you guys see my screen?
No. Well, I mean, we
Oh,
see
No.
your video
but you can
pointed.
see- oh,
we,
you-
I
oh,
mean,
you
we
can
see
see
your
your
video
window.
pointed at your screen.
Well, I could stop mine. Hold on. But
I don't want to view Shark screen anymore.
can see it.
AJ.
What's up, bro?
It's me.
It sounds
It's
like
me.
AJ.
Hi. Hey, what? Damn, is my voice that? All right, never mind.
It's AJ.
It's AJ.
don't you have a child that you need to deal with?
Bro, I don't
Not
have.
you. I'm talking to Whale because
I know I'm not whale, bro. I don't have two kids.
picture that he.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
no.
AJ's avoiding that.
Oh yeah, Ace already knows, bro. I don't want a kid at all. No, I'm getting a dog soon. Now that we got our house in, we're getting a dog first.
You're funny.
Yeah,
What
so are the
about
gold.
fees, Sharky? Are there fees?
Yeah, they're the same commissions. I don't know exactly what they are. I never,
It's
but
10 points
I,
on
don't- I only
NQ,
look
too
at them
tight
after
for a
the fact.
stop
I'm like,
loss.
oh shit, I spent $3,000 in commission. But
Yeah.
they are a little bit more aggressive on the micro contracts. But as long as you know, as long as you, I don't really, it doesn't affect me personally because I'll just make up for it. But that's why some people, if you're scalping, that's why
Is
some
it like
people
options where like
prefer.
some people like if you're I don't know, people ask about option commissions and I'm like, if you're really worried about commissions on options, you're probably
Right.
not taking
You should just be
profits
making
enough.
enough to deal with. I don't know. Like, yeah, I
Right.
don't.
Is it the same?
I mean, I did the same thing, and that's why I jumped into the prop firm side for futures because I mean, one TD, Merit, Fidelity, they all let you trade futures, but even those fees add up quick, especially if you're doing MNQ and NQ, unless you know how to scalp really well. Even if you win, like, hey, I won like $50, and then you realize your fees, you end up only winning like 5. You're like, shit, why did I pay that much in fees?
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't make anything on the trade. And so that's why I switch over to the prop side because it's not your own capital at first. Yeah, it's more rules. It's more annoying. I know that's why Whale hates it because Whale says, yeah, I don't want to deal with all these rules. I'd rather trade with my own funds. Yeah, I get that. But like, you're in a way, you're paying for the commissions with the way you're trading because they're making all these rules you have to follow. And so they're taking more risk on at first from you. You're playing with their money until you can prove systemically that you can win enough to be able to take withdrawals on your own, right?
Yeah.
And then
I
after
mean,
that, you can
I
copy
would
paste.
assume like
Exactly.
the purpose for anybody that's opening a prop firm account, I'm just gonna call it a prop account, would be to drop the prop account anyways and have your own
Right.
at a certain point.
Right.
That's what I did. I just took it's. Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Ramos, how do y'all help with
Oh.
not choking?
Hold on, we had a question though before we get into Frank's
Yeah.
beautiful screen. What was it? Hold on. How do you help with not choking the trade out on futures?
What the
Oh,
what?
because the drawdown is 1-to-1, just like the. I mean,
What do you mean not choking out? What do you
I-
mean?
Not
I think it's the
stopping out?
drawdown question, right? So
Not
like,
stopping out. Yeah. You do stop out. You have to. You get killed.
You get killed.
it's probably a sizing question. Sharky, you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? Like
Yeah.
yesterday at the close, I took a trade, right? It was just moving the stops on the
Oh.
profit too fast. I think that's a trade management thing in general, Paul, to be fair, right? Like today in our groups, when we took the longs at the lows, I was very clear, like this is not going to be a small trade. You wouldn't hear it on spaces. You'd have to be in our groups, but it's just very, very clear to our crew, like this is not going to be a small
You're
trade.
the choo-choo train. That's all you needed to know.
We're going to be very generous with our stops. It's just yeah, and Josh is
I heard
right,
it in the tone of your voice paper. I heard it.
sizing is everything, right? Like if it's a power hour trade, like you guys will hear me on spaces all the time, like in the back half, the last 30 minutes of a day. So that's different, right? So that yesterday we had one. I grabbed some 4070 SPX calls, 4730 SPX calls. I grabbed them at a buck 80. That was a pretty shite execution, to be fair. The trade was good.
How dare
They
you.
drew down to $100 a contract. That is like a 60%, 70% drawdown
At the
from an options
Cali.
perspective. Most people would have cut it, right?
Cali.
Most people would have cut it. No, dude, you gotta, it's different. Most
The
people would have
Cali,
cut
the
it.
Cali Reds.
But
it.
you know, knowing number one, I'm
Males like,
sized.
you want weed?
I'm sized like 10% of my normal size in the power, like in the power hour type of trade on a Friday for equities. It's 10% normal size. That's what it is. It just I don't need that much capital in those sessions to make what I normally make because of the way options work. And that's what Sharky was talking about earlier. When it comes to convexity and options, I know that these are the times of days, these are the days of the week that options are the absolute cheapest, right? And if I know that that's the situation that we're in, I know that I don't have to put that much capital at risk to get the same type of convexity. So because of that, I'm gonna adjust my sizing. It just is what it is, right? If it's a Monday, I know that I'm at risk. I might have to pay more because it's Monday, because it's that time of week, because it's in the morning, something like that. Like it's going to be more capital at risk, but sizing throughout the week, I'm actually lighter Monday, light, like dipping my toes in the water Monday. And you guys don't see me on spaces Monday because I hate trading Monday mornings just because that's when options are the most expensive. As an options guy, convexity guy, I know that I'm going to get the least amount of convexity on a Monday unless we're just completely just trending all day long. If we get a chop Monday, it's horrible to trade options, horrible to trade options. Tuesday, volatility, and I say volatility, the premiums on options starting to come down for the week. By Tuesday afternoon, they're actually starting to level out and I'm starting to size up for the week. By Wednesday, I'm fully sized. By Thursday afternoon, I'm trimming my sizing. So Tuesday afternoon, I'm fully sized. Wednesday, I'm fully sized. Thursday, I'm trimming. Fridays, I'm playing with profits. That's how it works, right? And at the end of the day, each one of those days, that's the only time you'll see me play SPX. And that's the same reasoning is because SPX are 0 DTEs. And it's only that last half an hour of the day because why? Because that's when option prices are the very cheapest, right? And options are all about those dollar moves. That's when I'm going to get the most convexity. If you think about it, if I have a 50 delta option at the money, which is a 50 delta, and you think about options in terms of leverage, your leverage is like 1,000x leverage on a late day SPX trade for a 0 DTE. It's way more than a futures trade. So that's why I'll play SPX only in the back half of the day, not in the early days or anything like, or early part of the day. I'm pretty much exclusively.
God, these what's the name of this? What's the name of this talk again? God, these options traders, they just always want to steal the show.
I'm sorry.
Just-
My bad. But
Sorry.
if you
No,
can't,
but
if you can't do that-
I wanted to answer his question, and why don't we let Frank go? I wanted to answer though visually the one question that Paul had, but Frank's got his screen up. Maybe I could see the same example on there. But why don't we let Frank?
Yeah, Sharky, just interrupt me. Because this area right here, this is yesterday's close, today's opening. Sharky and Paper and I were in the other group with Wolfie till from 9:30 from here to about here. And this is the bull flag. This is a 15-minute, right? So I scanned from 15 down to 5. My one screen, my laptop, I have the 5-minute and the 3-minute. But on the big screen, I keep my 30-minute, my hourly, and look and scan out and look at what I'm looking at. So I look at everything vertically and horizontally. So I look at the chart formations, I look at the zones, and then I look at and then I step back and look at it hourly. So here we are. If you notice in NQ, you see these wicks, these 15-minute wicks. If you happen to like get this first candle and you get in here and it acts good, it wicks down from 37 to 01. That's 37 points right here.
That's
So
nasty.
this is nasty.
That's pain. That's a painful draw. That's a
Yeah.
painful thing to take.
So I did nothing on these first candles.
How many dollars?
This is
does
the
that drop down?
candle. See this candle, this lower high at 10:30? When this broke through and we had a lower high, I bought it here and would have sold it at this line here. It held, we went up. I scaled into it. We went sideways. We had a little drawdown. I bought that back. I actually was scaled, so I was able to buy it here. And then we went into the high of the day. And on this formation, when this candle came up right there where that red line is, that's when I hit short 50. We got that down. And then we went sideways again, back and forth. You know, I'm like actively trading. I'm scalping. I'm all over the place. And this is when, but like I'm up
Frank,
like,
I'm all over the place.
yeah, I'm up like $3,000 right here, right? I'm up $3,000 right here. And then you guys were all long and I was short. And remember when I said I flipped? I flipped right here. I flipped from short 20 to long 10. And look what happened.
Baiting me.
So that's when, and this is where you bought, this is where Not Josh bought right here. I remember everyone's trades. You bought.
Paper wasn't long yet.
Frank the elephant.
Paper wasn't long yet, Frank.
I am an
Yeah,
elephant.
Frank,
I'm an elephant.
I entered poorly there.
Yeah, you entered right here, and then we got the drop. So I
And that
added.
helped
and
'cause
then
I balled
and then
steel.
paper got long.
Yeah.
So I added. It actually was up here above 17. So I flipped at like 15, bought it 05, sold it to figure. So that was $1,000 I lost right there. And then I bought at 85. I bought 20. Then I bought then
200 is
out.
where it got irresponsibly long.
Yeah, so this is, but here's my long. I'm long 10 at 75, 20 at 70, and then it fucking collapses again. So right at this level, I'm choking on it.
Oh,
I'm probably long 60. We get that little push up. I sell 10, and then it flushes down. And right here, I buy 50, and it goes in.
Paper says long.
Yeah, and right there,
So,
me and paper.
Right here, so I'm long 150 right here, and I'm about to pull the trigger right here, right at the bottom where Not AJ's got that candle.
Yeah.
So when we hit
Frank,
80,
you on tilt.
I'm on tilt.
Yeah.
80, I sell
Frankie
10.
on
90, I
tilt.
sell 10. Figure I sell 10. And then I blew out a lot right here. I got down to like 20 here. So because I was looking at my fucking P&L instead of where the market was going.
So can
But
we just?
this is
can
where
we
I
just
sold
zoom
my
out on
last
this
20
chart
right
for
here at
just a minute?
74.
Just
What?
for a minute. Can we just zoom out on this chart for just a minute?
To
No,
to
no,
what?
just so I can see
oh my
more.
god, that's Frankie on tilt.
No, like squish it down. I want to see more,
Squish it.
like more time.
Okay.
No, keep it on the 15.
Just as
it's
you
fine.
get
Keep
an
it on the
idea,
15.
Keep it
'cause-
there, Frank.
I just want to see more days.
Hello, guys.
So that's the hourly.
Yeah, I see it.
See the gap? So I don't have the overnight. See this gap right here? Yesterday's close. When we traded into the half gap right here,
That's the half gap, right?
where the red line is where you said buy it.
So look, you have the volume shelf, right?
Right here.
Yeah, and then I was
The
just
green
saying,
line is my average right there. The red line is on tilt.
The red line is on tilt. So Paul's
But-
asking Frank, do you have hard stops or a mental stop?
I have mental stops. You can't, in futures, you can't trade with a hard stop. And you guys hear me when you hear stop, that's usually the balance of my position at profit. When you hear Frank, you stopped out. It's like usually it's like between 5 and 15 contracts. Like I'm already at them and I'm waiting for it to run. So, you know, and I didn't get stopped out on anything on this because it went fucking straight up. Look at that hourly candle. We in an hour and 15 minutes, we hit in 2 hours, we had new highs. But like I was out of most of my position at 17,025. I have to admit, I was out. I only had 20 at this point left. Because I
Yeah,
was
but
on
still for the rest of that move on 20 lots on MNQ, that's still at least $1,500 to the high from there.
right. And this move right here, you know, this move from 62 to 25 with all those contracts was, you know, $5,000.
Yeah, so that's
Frank
you
the
know, so there's
Savage, bro.
definitely you know, money there. But I would again, you know, highly suggest not to get into the MNQ too much when you're just learning. Because it's just too volatile.
So when I had the fund, I had $4 million and I would trade futures with 4 million. So you can imagine how you know, I would trade the bigs, not the little guys. And you can imagine, but like you're fearless because you have stops and stuff, but like things have changed a lot from here to there. And I'm much more disciplined than I was then. But I did well then, but like I like MNQ because you can stick with a position for a longer period of time. And actually, you know, I'm trying to stick with holding a trade longer.
Now, Frank, what
Go ahead.
like to do that on futures? How different is that than what me or paper or Maple Stacks do to hold trades?
Same shit.
Same
thing.
shit, right? You're just gonna apply the same shit.
And if you get uncomfortable, you know, when you're long 150, when you get uncomfortable, you simply sell some if you're not comfortable. And then you can beat yourself up later. But if you notice when Sharky's trading, he hits a level, he's selling, you know, he goes, all right, get there, and he sells 5 or he sells 4, or you know, he sells some piece of his position on the way up. You know, you have to do that. And that's smart because if it comes back in, like MNQ does come back in a lot, and it tests, which could be 10 or 15 points. If you've sold half your position, you have the guts like, hey, I still like this. I'm going to buy it back. You may add to your position. Like you hear me say add, I just added. Now there's a point where you add and you're at the red line where you're choking on it and it's about to be a dumper. You're going to have to get out.
Yeah, and the other thing is what I think is nice also too about futures and what I was saying that the opportunities that it also gives you as far as the difference between options or the contrast is that it's really hard to add into those options run positions, right? Because you've got all those extra things running against you. You know, we've all traded options obviously before, so we know that, you know, we can be up, you know, 200% one day, and then maybe it comes down a little bit. And then you add some, you know, you comes down your percentages, say 150, you add a little bit into your winner, and then it might actually break that supply or demand or whatever. And then you're down, your position that was up 200% is now down 90%, right?
Yeah, like you
But
can't trade the same contract all day. Like
right. But with the
no way.
futures, you can add on the
479 or
higher
whatever.
lows without that same fear. So like
Exactly.
Frank was saying, you know, and I've done it before too, and this is actually something, and I mentioned this on Spaces before, a point that I'm at in my trading that I'm trying to get into is adding into those into my positions, because that's really what the high level people do. You know, they're not selling out. They might scale some, but they add back in. And futures offers great opportunities to that because you don't have to deal with the Greeks in the same way. So once you establish a new uptrend and after you make that higher high, well, you know, we talk about this a lot. What's the next logical thing that's going to happen in the trend sequence is going to be that that higher low to be put in. And once that's put in, then you can say, okay, you know, I had 20 contracts, 20 lots. out, 10 of them or 7 of them, and I'm going to add back in 5 on a higher low, and then I can ride that New Balance all the way back up to my next price target. And those are some opportunities in futures that you can take with a little bit less sweat, especially on forget about it on a 0 day. I mean,
Yeah, no, like for us, like for our guys, like we can add into some losing trades, let's say, but like one rule that we have hands down, and fucker in the chat said we never, it's whether you're adding into any trade, whether it's a winner or a loser, you have to have a net new trigger long, right? If I'm adding into a long, whether it's a loser or a winner, doesn't matter. But if you're going to add into a trade, you have to have a net new trigger, right? Like if it's whatever it is, if you can look at it right then, right there and say, hey, look, this is a spot where I would take the trade one more time as a net new trade, and you can say yes, go for it, right? But if you
Right.
can't, you don't. And that's just the rule.
And here's Frank, I want to share my screen now so I can go over this example on SPY for Paul, who was talking about maybe how to hold. And this is again a more, it's not necessarily about futures, but just trading, I guess, in general. But hold on, he just wrote trading's not so much the issue of holding it longer, over managing the trade. I'm still low to live. Yeah. Well, often, definitely listen to that Trading in the Zone. I don't know if you ever heard that, but oftentimes, Paul, the more that we focus on that we're scared to lose money, the more often that we end up losing money. And it's like letting go of that, you just can't be scared because, it's just letting go of that
Opportunity scared,
attachment to
take
the
the
outcome, letting go of the attachment to the outcome. Because you don't know. I never know when I take a trade whether it's going to be a winner or a loser. I have an idea.
Where you can't. I'll give it to you, right? You jump.
Bird.
Sharky muted.
Shark, you're muted.
Am I unmuted? Did I
You're
unmute?
unmuted now, sir.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is what I was talking about on SPY earlier, but I think it's a visual, and this is just maybe a cleaner example, even though we're talking about futures, but this could be the same situation, and this is just overall from holding those winners, right? So we were down here. This is where Frank was getting irresponsibly long here, down at this 472.50 area, and this is where I was also getting in the futures, or I was holding on my futures long. That I had that entry right around that 47.74, so that equals to just right around in this area here, right? So we had recaptured right this area here, and then we started our new move. And I remember, see, this line is what we needed to break over, right? This was the high from the 1250, right? And you can see here how we had reactions in this area multiple times, right? So we know that this is a big area, pivot, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to need to get over. And also, this is what we're going to need to get over to really create that higher high in this trend sequence. And this is where I said on Spaces, this is the 473.63. So here, if I'm in long, yes, obviously, if I'm in long from these lows, or even from the recapture of this structure, I'm certainly going to be scaling up into these equal highs, right? Because that's our logical target. And we don't know, of course, if it's going to break this pivot, obviously from the past price action. But once we do, now this structure has been broken, right? Now we have a shift in the market structure where the character has changed. And here, this is where I said on Spaces, I might have said it, I don't know if Whale was out at this point or whatever, but I was like, oh, this could be another entry here because we had come back, retested the structure. So if I'm still in long runners, even runners here, I know that I'm not even going to be scared to get out. And again, this is from a futures perspective, a little bit more tricky on options here to take this drawdown. But technically, as long as we hold back over this structure break, right? Resistance, it's just the simplest concepts. I'm such a big proponent into keeping it simple, right? Now, what is this? Support. Now it's turned to resistance, right? The structure has shifted. No reason to get out unless we broke below this. And really, if you wanted to get in from a futures perspective, there's really no reason for me to get out unless this broke. Whoops, that's the ugliest line ever. There's no really reason for me unless this structure broke. That's really going to be where, now that's going to be a little bit tougher drawdown on options, but I could hold that on futures and maybe even add into a position here. to look for that move. Maybe just back up to here. Again, we don't know if that's going to reject, but ideally we would break over and we would travel to the top of this new balance zone, which is where we got, right? You know, just keep an eye. I mean, the higher lows and lower highs, I've been wanting to make a post about this. It's so simple, but it's, you know, unless you really change the sequence, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really matter. Hold the position.
Look, we made the new thing.
Oh, that's it.
We
Orb.
reclaimed the Lorb. We go to the Horb.
That's all I got.
Hey, there's one thing that I noticed, just as an aside, a lot of guys look at 5-minute candles, 3-minute and 5-minute, 1 minutes. But like when you see a candle like those 15-minute candles I show you, where literally in 15 minutes, NQ went from 957 to 170.15. It went up 65 points. And if you scan out and look at the bigger picture, you'll stay in your positions longer. If you're looking at the 5-minute,
We're
or the
trying to
3-minute,
tell you, Frankie.
no,
Right.
exactly.
I
I'm learning.
agree, Frank. That I love that 50-minute. The 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
Even
no, yeah,
hourly,
15 minutes
even the
straight.
hourly, or you know,
Mhm.
if you scan out. So I was panicking. I'm like, all right, where's that half orb on that thing? You know, where's that half gap where you know we should be buying it? And I bought it too soon, and I was impatient, and ended up having to get, you know, irresponsibly, you know, long. But I just feel that if you look at different time frames when you're in a trade, when you can scan it, it will help you a lot.
Yeah. And that's also often in those trend days, Jordan. I know that we talk about that a lot when it starts to pull back and consolidate during lunch on those trend days. And then I'm always like, take a look at the 30-minute. What's really happening on the 30? We're just setting up in a giant bull flag.
It's the same
Back
setup
half
that
of the
you
day.
want to see on the 5-minute is
Yeah.
on the higher time frame, which
Right,
means
right.
higher probability, right?
Right,
It's
yeah.
bigger move
And a
than-
bigger move, you know, an
Exactly.
hourly flag, a 30-minute flag intraday is going to give you way more juice for so yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think, you know, that's you know, what else do I go over in the futures just to kind of cap it off as far as that's concerned? I mean, like I said, I think just trading the micros, don't get enticed by the MNQ just quite yet. Get your feet wet with the MES, the mini SPY. You try the prop firm if you'd like, if you're willing to risk, you know, $500 is not a lot of risk either if that, you know, in your own money. That's fine. The prop firms can be a little bit what's the word? Like it can be because you can over leverage from what they give you a lot of leverage for what you really can handle. So it can be like a double-edged sword, but as long as you remember that and that's what they want you to do. You know, they give you the leverage to trade 100 MES, you know, but you know, stick to the 1 or 2 and work out your system. Again, if you know how to trade basic, you know, if you know how to trade any instrument, you know how to trade any market. So it's those basic, you know, concepts of market structure and things like that. And other than that, you know, you're good, you know, and just kind of getting used to that jargon. And you'll see what, you know, what 3 contracts feels like and how it compares, you know. You know, 3 contracts, you take a 5-point stop, it's like $150, $175 on ES. I mean, it's really MES, it's not, you know, with $500, obviously you don't want to do that, but it's really not too much.
Shark, just for reference, if I'm taking, let's say, like if I'm taking 20 contracts, 15, 20 contracts on SPY, what is that relative to micro ES?
So, but what's the price of I mean, it's hard to say because what's the price of what you're paying for the option? And every
Yes,
option
most
is
of the
equal to
time it would be
100
around,
shares.
I mean, most of the time I'm buying those SPY contracts that are around anywhere from $1.20 to $1.50, anywhere around there.
Frozen.
There, a couple of guys were asking
Frozen. We're frozen.
where
Okay.
to find us live. I sent our Twitters. If you guys
Sorry, I didn't hear. My internet connection got unstable.
it's all good. If you somebody was asking where to find us live trading. If you guys don't, those are our Twitter handles. Follow all of us. You will catch us on Spaces.
But
And-
Jordan, to answer your question, did Frank answer Jordan's question?
No, I was saying basically, well, most of the time the contracts I'm buying are anywhere from like $1.10 to $1.50-ish, anywhere in that range. So what
So
would that be
for
relative
10 or
to?
20? I mean, so and then
So I'm usually doing 15 to 20 cons.
right. And then so 15 or 20 MES. And I mean, it's hard. I'm
It's
sure
hard to
there's
tell,
a
huh?
mathematical way to figure it out.
Yeah. I'll just
But
say
I
it's
don't know.
trial and error,
So
huh?
you
Gotta.
should
Frank, how
download.
would you kind of do that?
Josh,
Jordan,
futures
should do
opened
it-
up. The best
Yeah, if
part,
I
they're
could-
open 23 hours.
if-
Dude, don't trade right now.
If I could chime in, if you want to figure out the dollars, open up SPY and ES together side by side, and then just like calculate it off that.
Open
with
up SPY and ES together.
Yeah. So in other words, however much like that SPY moves, you can see the points that are it's not always exactly equal.
Yeah.
They'll get a little more wiki, but essentially then you can do the math based on the $50 a point on ES, if that makes sense.
Just have
Is
to
there
add
not?
in,
Is
like,
there a? Somebody's
how
got to
much we're
have a.
going.
I'm sure there's a
calculator.
calculator out there that somewhere.
Yeah.
Again, there's some math formula to figure it out, but I wish I knew. I wish I had a. Let me see SPY here. Let's see SPY.
So what are you trying to figure out? How much?
What the
So-
difference is, I think.
Well,
Someone
Jordy,
said about 5 to 10 cons MES,
yeah,
which would make sense, I think. About half
Jordy,
of
you
what
should
I
try trading the trading either one and trading the simulator. It's a lot of fun.
Where do I set up that simulator? Where'd I do it?
Go on Ninja
fuck around with
Trader.
On Ninja
Well,
Trader?
Sharky can set you up too. He's got those guys, and you can even do a account like who's the guy that trades the option spreads that blew out of the 10 futures?
Oh, Max.
Max.
Yeah.
You don't do what Max does.
No.
I was saying the Trading View has a futures simulator.
No,
I bet
Ninja.
it's
I'm on
Casper.
Ninja. I just have Trading View.
I honestly I couldn't figure out how to put an order on Ninja for the life of me, but I don't know.
Is there
Having a
a
blonde moment.
there's simulator on Tradeovate?
Yeah,
Most of them
Does it
have.
look good?
I never used it, but I mean,
I mean,
don't
I'll
know.
give it a shot just to fuck around at first, you know what I mean, and get used to like buying the actual
Baffle,
contracts,
baby,
and then I'll
baffle.
just fund an account and go for it.
Exactly.
Because again, it's not like I'm some new guy to the market, right? Like like I know what
No,
I'm doing.
Jordan,
But
you will kill it in futures.
with
You will-
futures, I know. I feel like I know with my
You'll get
style.
addicted to it. But like the thing is, you have to. Usually I spend 75% of my time looking and 25% trading, which today was a little different. But
Well, I do that anyway. I'm totally fine with that. I like less time in the market personally. So
but
Wait,
today
do you guys not? I thought there was like one futures interface that everybody uses. That was like a.
well, they're all white papered, right? They're
Yeah,
all
no,
the
I thought there
same.
was like one main one. Like we all use Trading View. It was,
Velocity.
oh my god, I gotta ask Graham.
Nice, Brando. I don't know if he's in
I
here.
think this whole thing was just a scam to convert me to futures.
No.
No.
Made up by Sharky right here. That's what it was. He just wants me on futures, bro.
I'll actually be trading in the next month less futures and more options and some
Dipping, I
other-
know you're dipping into the options, huh?
Yeah, and equities too.
I like
So-
it.
All right, Paper, you got anything else for us, bud?
Paper, hit
Yeah.
us with some
Answer all the
options. What's up,
questions.
baby?
Yeah, I think we're good. I was trying to find what the hell was that. Was like. a
Yeah, I
key.
find Trade of 8, the UI is just easier, but a lot of people use Ninja and they own it. Ninja owns Trade of 8.
Yeah, Ninja Trader's the most common one.
No, it wasn't like Ninja or Tradeovate. It was like just an interface that plugged into the broker.
Futures are open, guys. You can
Oh,
trade.
oh.
Ah,
Hey, oh,
look
shit.
it up.
Let's
Yeah,
check her out. I'm about to fuck around.
Oh,
Don't
God.
do it. So
Sometimes
Wait,
there's
okay.
some good moves. Sometimes you could, a couple of times I made all my money just in the doing this, and it's actually kind of nice because it moves slow and you can really, you know.
Sharky, quick question. If I were to like, okay, I want like, let's say I'm like ready to look at MES and trade it. Do I just type in MES or is it like MES/24 or whatever? What is that?
Oh no, you
I
bring
don't know
up
on
the screen.
Tradeovate what it is.
So you bring up the screen and just click. Yeah, it would be MES.
Is
Probably-
it backslash like on Toss? Toss is backslash.
But like on TradingView, like it's the same chart if it's just MES, right? It doesn't change if it's like, because I
no,
hear you guys talking about like the date on it or whatever.
Oh no,
No
that's only every
contracts?
3 months, the
yeah,
contract
we're
roll.
trading March.
That's only
right
on the
now.
contracts. Okay.
Right.
So it should automatically pull it, but once you have the rollover, it will be, that doesn't happen until like February or something, March.
The end of February.
Okay.
That's quad witching. That's an automatic no trade day for me.
Automatic.
I hate
So
that day.
I'm
So
So
anyway,
funny.
all right, boys.
gonna try this futures, this Ninja Trader. Freaking
Man, I can't. That's
Simulation.
killing me. What the hell that interface was called? Jesus.
Well, you can link a lot of the brokers right to your Tradeovate account. That's how Maple does it, and that's how KC does it as well.
Oh yeah, because on TradingView you can just
You can like integrate
go to
it
the
in.
trading panel and you can just
You can trade futures off the Caleb zones, bro.
that's how that's how we're gonna get Aries. I want Aries in here so I can just trade off the TradingView chart.
Right. Well, yeah.
Aries
No, I
have,
actually,
does Aries have futures yet? Or
no, they
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
and I meant to
I just don't know the
message them.
details on all the future stuff. We can contact Retta or like if we I can go in the Discord and get all the information on them, contract fees and all that. I'm not sure, so
Yeah, I think you got it because I was telling him that I would be interested in maybe beta testing some of that
Oh, yeah,
stuff,
and he wants
getting him
you, and he wants you
some
on there, so
suggestions.
he's
So,
gonna-
MetaTrader. Jesus Christ.
MetaTrader is such a scam. Like,
It's just an interface though. But everybody plugs into MetaTrader.
yeah, but it's like a scam like thing because it's an open source HTML. You can edit it anyway and put whatever trade or any P&L in there.
Oh, I'm doing Tradeovate Sharky because I can just link the demo account to TradingView.
Oh yeah, no, the interface is nice.
I'm doing that.
And you just get the DOM up and
The
oh, that's the one you didn't know, right? The DOM, the order book.
Wait, dude, we just never called it the DOM. I always called it the order book.
Yeah, I've never called it the DOM, but
Depth of market.
Always looked at it, just called it the order
So-
book. Always a
Anyway.
thing. But yeah, appreciate you guys. You rock.
All right, I'm
We
going
pay
over
you in
there.
hugs and kisses from far. Mwah.
see you guys in the morning.
Happy new all-time high day tomorrow. Just telling you.
No.
Just is what it is.
480, baby.
480.
Yes, sir.
On
All right,
OPEX?
boys.
You think we're gonna get a
Brando in the
Friday
house.
trending? What did Miss Cleo say?
Dude, Miss Cleo knows it, bro.
Look, Miss Cleo said that we can open up at all-time highs, but then you should
Gap
probably
up.
sell it.
Then you should try and sell it. Bro, it's
Yeah,
gonna do
but
the
you should
same
probably
same
sell
thing
it.
QQQ. Everything is done.
Yeah.
Make new highs, pull back.
Oh, Big Balls Brando's in the house. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's been slaying it.
Oh,
on
wait, all right.
FIFA,
Well,
so
they
I
want to
don't
know.
understand.
Okay, what do we know? So I guess I'll tell them. How do I do this? Where's my, how come I can't? I have too many screens. Screen share.
Dude, the background of your office looks like the back of a porno set, kind of.
Jesus. Okay, it says, what was the star card?
It had a couch in there.
I do have a casting couch in here, but I'm just saying.
He's ready, bro.
Behave. This is the Knight of Cups. We're moving from Starbot, which could regression and reverse. Depends on how Thursday closes. A strong close leads to backpedaling from the night, a weak close.
Oh, backpedaling, short pop.
Whatever.
We close may find his pivot to rally from.
What is it? Off X weeks. Moving very little weakness for most of the week and don't see any big energy rallies likely. Whatever.
We're still in the bigger,
Whatever.
still
He
in the
doesn't
box on the
know.
daily. We have not broke out of the box on the daily, so until then, I'm not convinced.
Or
Listen,
80,
honey.
Or 80.
Yeah, I
All
know,
I
but it does look
know-
like an inverted head and shoulders,
Listen.
but you don't usually see
Linda,
those at the top of a
Listen,
the
Linda.
top
All
of
I
a channel.
know is that we
Look at the
had-
daily. Go to the
the-
daily, dude.
Dude,
Daily,
this is
nice
the
bullish
daily.
engulfing.
It's a big
This
old
is
box.
the daily. It's a 30-minute, but whatever daily.
That's not a.
Okay.
See, look at the range there.
We're
the
still in
balance.
the
going to
range,
open
motherfucker.
Here,
Yeah,
But we're making higher lows in the range with a pretty flat top.
dude. This is a 1,
a higher
2,
high.
3. Look at this net. Come on. How are you going to be short today? Look at that. Look at this.
No lower highs, all higher highs, higher
Look
lows.
at this. Am I sharing my screen?
You are,
Yeah, I'm
baby.
looking
I
at
see
it.
it.
I mean,
Why do you
'cause
have this horrible
like,
ICT?
what do you mean ICT?
Right, nah,
use no
paper's like
ICT
way
here.
OG on the fair value gaps.
Me?
Yeah, you're like way
color
OG,
scheme,
man.
the cult.
Way before anybody was talking about it.
I don't.
started
I'm
talking about
whatever.
fair
Yeah,
value.
I don't. Dude, there's nothing new in trading. It's always been the same.
All recycled.
It's all recycled. All I'm saying is, look, we don't buy the breakout of these trendy lines. We buy the retest. Dink, right there, babies. 50% retracement. Dink. Fade the break. Buy the
You got
retest.
the doink, the dink, and the
Doink. Doink. Where was
Doink.
Frankie on this NQ? Oops.
Dang.
Yes. Well, since we're
I'm
supposed
gonna
to be
do
talking
Qs.
about futures, ES has got to get over 48.
Look at the Qs, man.
Until it
Come
gets over
on.
48.50. I know, but ES is lagging.
Yes,
Look.
where we at? I'm
I'm
getting
just
ready.
saying, if
Yeah,
Shark-
yeah, we
if
gotta talk in the
Frankie had-
futures language.
if-
What is
if
I'm
this?
getting
Frankie was
ready.
looking at-
Q
if Frankie
weirdness?
was looking at it today, while we're pulling back, and he had this volume profile from like the last entire week, and he was like, "Oh, this is
Exactly.
it's just gonna be like, oh my god, right? Like all of like gap fill. We're just retesting. I don't know. That's not a good pullback. That's not a good.
I need
fit.
a cheeseburger.
But I mean, but Frankie,
No, but go to ES. Let's
Frankie,
talk some
you're right
futures.
there.
Right. That was me.
Volume shelf, just juiced.
Just
Juiced.
Anyway, ES needs over 48.50. That's all I know.
What do you mean? What is that? This volume shelf, 4850. Yeah,
That's the
it'll
daily.
come. It'll come in
No,
the
that's
morning,
not the
dude.
daily.
I live stream me getting dusted on futures right now. uh,
Go to the daily. No.
whoa, this is a lot of shit. Whoa,
Daily.
whoa. Where do I go?
This is the daily.
What is Max trying to accomplish with those 10 accounts? Is he just
To be honest,
Yeah, I'm saying that's what we just have to break
Right.
over. Yeah, we broke that little downtrend, but we got to break out of this balance zone before we really know.
Yeah.
Frank, he's getting a
We'll
ton
know
of
tomorrow.
really useful content with what he's doing, and he's
That's
Is
not the high though.
yeah, so he's really he's not really, I mean, he's very entertaining.
Sharky.
What about the M?
but he's just
We're
learning
at least
right now.
going.
What about an M
for
pattern?
48.28 at least. You got to give me that.
Yeah,
How do I
yeah.
just buy this shit?
Forget. Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you.
Why on
Love
the
you, long
5?
time.
I need the 5 minutes.
Love you a long time.
Look at this. You got all these. Look at it. The DSC. You got all these SMC terms.
So is
Well,
it like
well,
when you trade shares? If you want to go short, you got to sell first.
Look at that
Yeah,
bullshit.
just like shares. Yeah, you just
All
press
right, it's
sell.
just like shares.
Go
All right,
short.
that
That's
makes
why I said
sense.
you just press
Exit right
sell or
there.
buy, baby.
It's
Easy
like
peasy.
old
Don't hit
days
the
to kid,
reverse.
man.
Don't hit the reverse. Oh shit. Here it is, Sharky. I found it. It's right here. It's this little hoo-ha. Dink.
So
Oh,
what
we're
price is
long.
that?
48.32. There she be. Spot 75. Never filled.
Account not specified. Boy, it's the paper account. What you mean?
There it is. 48.32.75. Cover. Okay.
Why are we looking at a 5-minute chart? So we keep this.
Dude, because I'm just
Give me
telling
it.
you what's going to happen for tomorrow.
Paper
Oh,
knows.
you think we're gonna go there? 48.75?
Yeah. 48, 32, 75. But we have to get over. Really
I'm
this.
be up all night.
No, that's filled. This is filled. Yeah, so we go here. 480, 48, 32, spot 75. Cover flat. See what happens next.
Well, I don't know, son.
Okay. All right, guys. You've been awesome. I love it. We went way over. You guys rock.
I'm going
Have a
to the
good night,
fair.
guys.
Love you boys.
Take
I'm gonna
some-
have fun
taking some
figuring this.
mushrooms. I'm going to the fair.
Love you all. Adios.
Late.
Late. Bye, CC.